ready to rock. Van's running, truck's running. The A5 is over there. So we're just on our way down to Santa Pod. This is a closed event. There's only going to be 20 cars there, arranged by Andy Frost, who owns Red Victor. That's the fastest, or aiming to be the fastest street legal car in the world. It has been for a long time, but it's going to be again. So we're going to set off now, because it's 7 o'clock. I ain't getting up early. Wait for Paul as usual, but he's here now, so we're all good. We'll see us at the other side. So, just got here, just unloading Arosa, Citigo, and we'll go down and have a look at the main office, see what's happening. There's been an event on here this weekend, so there's like some fancy cars kicking about and still loads of stuff. Hopefully we can get some good track time. I've not heard out running up yet, and it's nearly 10 o'clock. It took a fair while to get here, so we'll go in and see what the format of this day is going to be, when we can actually get on track, what we can actually do. Paid for 2 full days. I've not seen anybody else who we expected to see, but then again, it could be absolutely anywhere. So we'll see what happens. Just in front of you, not really much. Red Victor's going up as well. We're just ready. All going to get that. Are you ready to go? I'm on tyre pressure duty. We're going to see what happens. First run, straight off the trailer, setting the tyres to 7 psi, and that's what we've got. Not easy to see, it's a bit sunny. We've done a 958, 147. Now we've turned nitrous down quite a bit. I think at the peak there we're running 30%, so last year we were running at the top of the strip, ended up at like 80%. On the dyno we only ever got 50 or 60. But now the 633 horsepower runs that we've seen, that were at 40%. So at the minute we're not quite at the power that we're at. You'll see from the run, they were a little bit smoky going up. That's just because we've turned the nitrous down and we just left the fuel where it was. So turn the nitrous back up. As you see it getting cleaner, should be getting a little bit more, but we will put a little bit more fuel in there as well, depending what happens. So just pulling up to the car, walking up to the car now. Paul's here. What do you reckon then, Paul?
Good shit.
Seemed to go alright. That slip anyway. 60 foot's not the best we've ever done.
No, it's in bad for the first run out.
No, everywhere else we're good. So it feel like pulling nice and clean and everything.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
Quite surprised.
Yeah. I think go to right a little bit.
Yeah.
Did it go a tiny little bit?
It did pull a little bit.
Yeah. But not really needing much correction. Yeah. Tyre pressures come up a little bit unevenly when I checked them, but I bled them down evenly. So we'll look over at data and see what we can do to make it better. Next run out, we didn't do so well. Still a 9.6, but we turned things up a little bit too much at the launch, get it a little bit too much off the line, so the wheel span a little bit. Didn't do a bad 60 foot, but we did what we needed to do. And then we've just had a little sneak around now. Try and get it held up, I don't know if you can see. That's a 946 at 150. So finally broke both the barriers that we're aiming towards in one go. So very happy. And we're only at 40% nitrous at top of the track. And we've got tons more fuel in it. We could probably make another 150 horsepower if we turn everything up to the death. So now we've done what we need to do. We need to smash it, so we're going to have another go. We'll go from there. Paul, whoop whoop, we've done it. You actually got it in every gear. Amazing. Best one we've ever done. Yeah, all good. We're very happy. Yeah, we're just going to turn it up. That's the plan in it, chaps. Yeah, turning it up. Magnum PI's over there with his glasses on. We'll make it happen. So we're going back out again. Paul's on his way. We've just taped body down, a little bit of tape on tailgate to see, and we've turned nitrous up to 50% now. We've dropped it a little bit on the launch, but when we get further up the track, just the last little bit we'll be at 50%, so we're not tons more, but we'll see what difference that makes. But we've got 50% more nitrous. We've not even had any fuel yet, we can have much more, so wish us luck. So, just had us lunch, burger and chips all round. Had to buy six of them. Just been filling nitrous up while we're waiting. Car's ready to go back out. So we did a 947, we've done a 946 as the fastest. So we're going to turn things up a little bit. We're still only running 50% nitrous at the top end. 151's fast enough for us. We don't want to push it up too much with that one. Try and keep engine together as long as we can. We've just top nitrous bottle. Seems to make a bit of a difference filling it up every run, so we wouldn't have to, but we just want to cross T's and dot I's. So ready to go out again. Sun's shining again, so we'll get out, see what we can do. Just lining up, ready to go. Getting it burnout box. See what happens. So it looks sunny now. We're just taking cars up to Cantry. So called it off a bit early because of weather. They reckon it's going to be an hour to drive track, so it's like after 4 o'clock now. So we might as well try and make most of what we've got. It's still spitting a bit now as we're talking. We're absolutely bucketing down earlier, so we'll go up there, get some pictures. We'll call it a day. We'll come back tomorrow and hopefully the weather's a little bit better. Not quite sure if we're meant to be doing this. think go through one at other gates, but do we need to check if anybody's coming up at 150 mile an hour? Probably worthwhile. See who's fastest on strip going wrong way. So there's a reason why they don't let you do any quarter miling when it's wet. There, that's what happens. So don't do it, chaps. Just trying to get the obligatory Santa pod money shot. Hopefully it all goes to plan. Stopped raining heavily about 20 minutes ago. That's some water, that. So, more like 5 o'clock now. Sun's shining. Cars are all tucked up for the night. Hopefully don't get too much bad weather at night, but shouldn't hurt things too much. Awning will do its job. Park's like a massive puddle. Hopefully that's gone in the morning. But quick check right car when we get up first thing. Have a look over at data tonight, see what we can do to improve. Hopefully everybody likes the pictures that we took. And yeah, see how we get on tomorrow. Right then, so it's day 2 of this test and tune day, whatever you want to call it, closed event. There's some decent stuff here. There's Richard Batch is here with his front wheel drive car. He's hoping to try and set a new front wheel drive record. Whether he does or not, I'm not too sure. It's a little bit gloomier today than it was yesterday, but as long as it's consistent and not wet like it ended up being yesterday afternoon, we should be alright. So today's plan, it's a plan before we start doing any work, so it could completely change us straight away. We're going to run the Arosa. We went backwards on the last run and we think we know why. So we've changed a few settings, tweaked a few bits. Scott's just pretending he's busy by taping everything up. But we're ready to rock with that one. I think I want to try and get a go into Arosa if I can. Definitely want to go out in A5 and yeah, try and get out in Citigo as well. Roma!
Good morning!
So we're ready to rock. Matt's trying to get in on my vlogging. Paul's ready for it. So we're going to be first car running up again today. The usual thing when we come drag racing, we're always the most eager to get out there. We're running the same tune, same nitrous settings, everything that we ran when it did not the fastest time we did, but the fastest speed and the fastest gains throughout the run. The 60-foot's what let us down. So we'll see what we can do now. We've put a little bit more pressure in the tyres. Going to get a nice big burnout, line him up perfectly, just see what happens. Just chasing them last little bits now, so I think Paul's just on his way. I'll get him lined up with burnout box and let it have it. Right, we're just back down to the line now. We're not used to this rushing down to the front. There's normally a massive queue halfway up track at least. So that last run, there are a few fastest sectors there among what we've ever done in the past. We're a little bit down on speed and we're trying to figure out why. We couldn't really get his head round. This is what just rip nitrous bottle out. Still plenty of pressure in it. Rip nitrous bottle out. Let's have a look, see what's going on, and if we've still got plenty of nitrous in, maybe we've got a bit of controller issue or the revo's not behaving. We don't know. Don't like second guess components, but you never know. Took bottle out and I thought, very light. Why is it so light? It should have only done one run. Should have lost a pound, maybe two if we were lucky. It dropped nearly £9 out of that bottle, so we must have had a leak from the valve or something overnight. So now we've got a fresh 25, 26 pound bottle in there. See what we can do. All smoke, small bit of Arosa. So, see what happens again. Right then, I'm going to give this a little whirl. We've just done a couple of runs into Arosa and we're losing speed. We seem to do a faster run with less nitrous in that bottle, so there's something not quite right. I think it's traction related, so we're just going to pour off it data, see what we can figure out, see if we can improve on it. But while they're having a play with that, I'm going to try and get out in this and Citigo, and hopefully when we know what's happening, we can see what we can do. Roma trying to vlog bomb again, but we'll check out what Roma does. He does some good stuff. I think there's 5 cars here that are going to do 8-second quarters that he's tuned, maybe 6. So yeah, see what this does, see what the Citigo does, and then if we finally make some headway with the Arosa, or even if we don't, I'm still going to have a go in it anyway. So I'm just going to do the tyre pressures on this. Just a little bit of information if people care. A lot of people think you want to drop your tyre pressures really far down on road tyres, because this is still on the Nankang AS2s. I think that we can run anything from sort of 30 to 35 on these tyres, but for the drag racing, you don't want to let them down too far, because all you'll end up doing is riding on shoulder. The sidewall will be fairly stiff, you'll just ride on shoulder, you'll have less grip, so we might as well leave pressures sort of at the low end of a warm, like unladed car. So I'm going to jump in this, see what I can do. So, did a couple of runs in A5. I don't know how much of it we're going to cut out, but I fluffed first one because I put it back into reverse to move, because I had to swap lanes. Andy, who's running, has decided he wants to swap lanes, so it's up to him where he goes. So I reversed and put it back in drive, so then I didn't get the launch control that I should have got. And then for some reason in drive, I cut limited in 4th to 5th, which makes absolutely no sense. So we're going to figure that out later, because I should have been in sport anyway. Put it in sport the second run. Did a good launch, got a 1.8 360 foot, which pretty respectable for a big heavy barge. Obviously 4-wheel drive helps. And that ended up being a 12.2 at 114.8, so nearly 150 mile an hour, which is pretty good for this, I think. The first to second gear shift's happening that quick, so you gain that much grip. On the road, it's just nearly it's the limiter, but on here it's hitting the limiter. So this next run, I'm going to probably change up manually, but I'm going to get on the nitrous once we get into second gear as well. We've got a little red button in there that's just going to let it have it. So it's only a small 100 shot, it's not going to make much difference. Might clean smoke up a little bit in gears 30 horsepower that you saw on dyno or whatever, but we didn't think it'd be as busy as it is today. Well, pretty dead yesterday, it's pretty busy today, so we'll see what we can do. Get back out in car, and the scene file's going to change a bit, because Matt tried being clever and creating a scene file, but I think the trigger at which starts the drag run is not quite the same as what's triggering it here. Obviously you've got lights and beams here, whereas on this it's GPS speed, so we're not going to have the fancy telling you the peak Gs and all this stuff, but it is what it is. We'll probably overlay it afterwards when we've got the data back, so wish us luck. Right then, I'm going to have a quick go out in this. A5's been playing silly beggars, as I'd like to call it at this point, doing some random stuff with gearbox. I don't think it's quite happy with grip it's getting to start with, and putting some random sort of torque values to each way communication. I don't know. We've had a look, we can't figure out what's going on. Maybe we'll get it fixed before we go, and we'll actually get a good stab at pressing nitrous. I did my quickest 60 foot then, because it actually changed gear when it should have done first to second to 1.6, which is very respectable on road tyres. But we'll see what we can do with that later on. I'm hoping weather doesn't turn. We're probably going to end up getting off before dinner time, because it's just not looking good. So we're starting to pack some stuff up. And yeah, Arosa, we think we've figured out why the speeds are dropping. We put a little bit more nitrous and the speed only increased a little bit, so like, it can't be a nitrous problem. It'd be very strange if it was. So what we decided to do a compression test, and the compressions are a bit low, like 300 psi or so, which on a road car you'd want over 400 for it to start nice. Well, something like this, built out, it's a loosely built engine. Not too big a deal, but it was just how quickly it came up to that compression value that we're worried about. So we've done a leak back test then, so you're sort of blowing air into the blow plug hole and seeing where the air comes out, and it's not coming out of the breather, so the piston rings are fine, the piston should be fine, but it's pardon me, it seems to be coming out of the exhaust valves. So we think we've damaged the valve seats or damaged the valve. So it's still doing all right time, so I'm going to jump in it, have a go, see what we can do. We might as well, we're not going to cause any more harm. We've got to be ready for TOTB in a few weeks' time. So if we get that, head off, get some new valves, which we have got a bigger set of valves that can go in the exhaust side. They're not half a mil bigger or something like that, but we can put them in, so even if the seats are a bit damaged, we should be able to cut the seat, put the new valves in, throw the head back on, and be ready to race again. Because we want to do some good top speed stuff there. We're not so bothered about the quarter mile, it's the half mile there. So I'll go out in the Citigo, see what it does. I think we're going to do one run. We're not expecting miracles, it's a track car, it's not a drag car. It's probably got too much grip. I'm going to have to slip the clutch like mad, and I don't really want to do that for something like this. So see what we can do, and hopefully get some good footage.
So just done a quick run at it, Citigo. That's the first time I've launched that car in anger myself. Paul drove it last time. Got a little bit, could have probably gone a little bit more. Held it a little bit more on the clutch and on the launch control to get a bit more, because I did a 1960 foot. See on the video, the rear wheels spin up pretty good as well, but the front wheels, they seem to hook up, and I don't know whether in second gear when I changed gear the clutch maybe slipped a tiny bit. I don't know. We're not going to get much more out of it. It didn't really want to get full boost until we're in third gear, because we're not doing anything too crazy. Unlike the launch strategies and the boost building, it's a track car, not a drag car. So, happy with that. 12.9 at 112. It's got the power, no nitrous. I don't even think the water injection were on at that point, so it does what it needs to do. I'm happy with that. We're hoping, try and get out in that before it rains, so I'm going to jump in it now, have a go, but that'll be the first time I've launched this since it was a common rail engine. I think the last time I run it, it did a 9.9 at 141 or something like that, so now it's a lot faster. Even with a tired engine, it's faster than it was. So I'll go out in that, see what happens. Right, embarrassing to say the least. I'm definitely out of practice. First run, I sort of listened to Paul a little bit, maybe too directly, and dumped clutch a bit too hard to start. We set off in second gear, went a bit aggressive on clutch, and it just stalled. There's too much grip there. You can do that in burnout box to get a burnout, but not in trap. So went for another run, just reverse back. You can on a day like today. Reverse back. Did it again. I think I got a good launch. It felt aggressive, and then, as I've done many times before when I was driving this car, sort of gone for third gear a bit too quickly, maybe half a second. It's not a lot, and you've got to keep your foot wedged in it. You've got to keep it flat and just clutch it and just shove it into gear. And I did neither of them two things, so my fault. But looking at the weather, we're getting a few spots of rain. I think we'd be very surprised if we get out in A5 for another quick run. Very surprised, but we'll see what we can do. I'll get to the front of the queue in that and have a look. But if this is the end of the day, we're still happy. Obviously, we've caused the engine to give some grief on this one, but we've still done what we need to do. We know there's more we can do, and there's absolutely tons we can do to the car. We've got tons of fuel left, tons of nitrous left. So just hold it all in, and we should be good to go. So the lads are going to get everything packed up, because it's nearly dinner time anyway. It's definitely going to rain at dinner time, so there's no point waiting here while it's raining. So, see what happens. So, we're just packing up for today. I never actually got the final running that I wanted in the A5. I don't know if you can see in the puddle, but it's spitting a little bit now. It's not going to dry up. So, it's dinner time anyway. It's going to rain a bit harder over dinner time and probably a bit after, so we just decided, load it up. This is still working good, that's still working good. We're all packed up now, we might as well go home. Quick while we're ahead as such. We know the Arosa engine's not quite perfect, got work to do there, but all in all really happy. We've done a low 12 in that, high 12 in that, and below a 9.5 in that, so it's pretty much what we set out to achieve. Would have liked to have got a better run with the nitrous on the A5, because we didn't quite get it to do what it needed to do. It won't come out of gears and doing whatever it wanted. So it is what it is, but we've got the diesel only runs and the road tyres. We know where we need to aim next time, and we know where this compares to what runs we've done it past. So we'll finish strap it Arosa up and head off for some food and have a nice steady non-rush hour drive home hopefully, rather than waiting until 5 o'clock tonight and just sat in alt traffic on M1. Just like M25 now, so just a rolling roadblock. So thank you, hopefully this has been interesting. It's probably going to need a little bit more editing than Danny wants, so wish him a bit of luck as well. But if you like what we're doing, subscribe, comment. We try and answer every comment that's worthy of a reply. If you're just abusing us for fun of it, somebody's just been telling us to get a girlfriend in one of other videos, doesn't know what he's on about, but it is what it is. So yeah, see you soon.